So I recently got into a Zenfest that I randomly decided to apply for because I made that one zine. But the problem is the Zenefest is in a month and I only have one zine. So I'm gonna try and make smaller zines that I could take with me. So I'm gonna start my folding and figuring things out. But I'm thinking I'm gonna make these zines about zodiac signs. So as I said, I am making these zines for Zenefest. This is actually for DC Zenefest. I don't know what compelled me to decide to apply to DC Zenefest and go all the way to DC to show these off, but I guess that's the performer in me. I needed people to see my work. So yeah, I am basically doing my mock-ups here to get everything to the correct specifications for printing. So I kind of wanted to share the zodiac book that I'm going to be using. I've had this book in the household since I was in, I want to say, 6th, 7th grade. Like, this book has been through the ringer. I brought it to school one day. Everyone was looking through their astrological signs in it. Like, it served us well. I think we picked it up in Barnes and Noble back in the day, and you could see it got wear and tear on it. Like, she's seen the stuff, but I would say this book is like very robust. It breaks down literally everything you can imagine about the different signs. You're getting their characteristics, personality traits, male versus female, like appearance, stuff that's kind of irrelevant, but still what they're like when they're young, celebrities who are, of the zodiac sign, black stuff. I did want to explain why I picked zodiac signs for this set of my god, I was gonna say trading cards. For this set of scenes, and I guess I really wanted to do something that was a little bit more general. I have the Delia's catalog in the back, for the Zenefest, but I also wanted something that more people could relate to and identify with, and I figured this would be a good option. Okay, last we left off, I was just getting started on this. I now have pretty much all the pages laid out. It's not, well, we're working on tarot card page, so ignore that. But pretty much the basis for all of them are done. There's not much illustrative work because it's going to be teeny tiny, like I said, like that big. So now the last page is going to be the associated tarot card page. I had some bad information, y'all. My beloved trustworthy book, was possibly incorrect about the tarot cards because every other source that I could find is saying that the tarot card for Aries is the Emperor, where the book had said it was the Magician, so which is this card. So I went through and I drew like a whole Magician card, and that might be wrong. So I'm going to double check it with, I have some tarot cards here, and I think mine has the symbols for whichever the associated zodiac sign is, so I'm gonna go ahead and double check it. But yeah, we're just gonna do this, and then essentially we're just going to populate the other tarot cards with basically the same information, like, their version of this information, so they're all gonna look fairly similar. And once we do this, we're just gonna do a little test print, and then we can get the ball rolling. Ignore that was my grape if you heard it, but yeah, get the ball rolling on the rest of them. So I was wrong. These don't have the zodiac signs on them. I thought it did, but it might have just been whatever app I was using to interpret these cards, whatever website I was using, so I'm gonna go check that instead. Granted, I don't know who's gonna be correct. I'm taking this information from places on the internet. It's not like there's a .org for tarot cards. Well, maybe there is, I don't know. But I'm just gonna go with whoever has the most cited locations, I guess. I'm really disappointed in this book. Also, this book is older.
So it is possible maybe things changed along the way, and that's why the book says one thing and everybody else says something different. But if the majority of places are saying one specific zodiac sign, I feel like I should be going with that. I really wish there was like a place that I knew. But actually, I used Wikipedia for one, and I know Wikipedia is not like the quote-unquote credible source, but they do have their sources linked at the bottom. So mayhaps I could check that instead. Things to think about. Okay, I don't know why I trust this site, but I do. And they said it represents Aries, the Emperor. So we're gonna go with that. So Aries Emperor it is. When I think about it, there is a lot of a ram imagery in this. Like, dude, here. This was meant to be Aries. There's no other way around it, I don't think. Why so many rams? If not ram, why Aries? Okay, I finished my tarot card, and so now I'm going back to my little mock-up here. And if you remember, I did some measurements. I don't know if I even recorded that, but I did some measurements at the top, and that's how I'm going to divvy up this space. That's kind of what I did for this guy right here. So I'm going to do the same thing, but on a much smaller sheet of paper. And once I do that, I'm going to slot all the images into these spaces. And then, yeah, do a little test print. Hello, editing me again. I wanted to steal a minute in the video to kind of explain why it's majority Aries that we're seeing being made here. And that's because it's the first one I did, and a lot of the talking through what the process is happened with this one. When it gets down to it, a lot of the rest of zines were made following the same process. It's kind of like a paint by numbers situation going forward with the rest of them, because they're meant to look like a collective, they're meant to look like a set, so they follow the same patterns to be made. So I thought that was getting a little repetitive and maybe a little boring to watch. And essentially there is also a lot of typing things out, because it's coming up with and looking up the facts about each sign and then putting it in text on paper, and I didn't think that was very fascinating to watch. So I made the executive decision to just keep this video primarily Aries, because you get the vibe, but just know I made 12 of these and it did take a lot of time. I just think you get the gist. Once you see one, you kind of seen them all. So that is what we went with. So I did trim the bottom edge because I wanted it to be kind of like a full bleed, but I think it looks good. And nothing really suffered for it. This is so cute. I keep forgetting that I shouldn't trim this way because it pulls apart. Luckily it was still held on by the top a little bit, but no trimming the edges. I did that last time with the Delia zine, and that was a mistake. But yeah, all about about Aries, and then done. On to the other 11 zodiac signs. Sitting on the floor again, which could only mean one thing. I'm about to do some stuff. I printed out regular paper to start for like all my test prints, and then I remembered I have rice paper. It's what I used to make my glass onion notebook thing. There's a video about it. I'll put it somewhere. But I decided that would be really cute to do the zines on these. So I printed one. Always do a little tester, and I'm about to fold it up, but I'm liking it so far. I think the colors look great on it and everything's legible. So this might be my go-to. I realized I've been doing a very terrible job of like keeping you posted or like keeping you along for the journey of how this zine is coming, but it's very repetitive, so there's not much to show. We're now on Leo. I'm folding everything up, and then I cut the little line in the middle and fold it properly after. This is our keeping them all in my popcorn bucket here. But you know, we have a good array going. Also, I love seeing the different colors. It's just so cute together. It just looks so cute. So we have a nice little stack going. We're not printing that many. And I did switch to rice paper for printing them, just because I thought it felt, I don't know, more interesting than just using regular paper. So right now I'm gonna try and take pictures of everything because we have finished. Look at that. You can kind of see it, but it looks like a nice little rainbow of astrology right here. But I'm gonna take pictures of everything, and what I like to do when I take pictures is kind of make a little elephant graveyard of various versions of it as the background. Like a work in progress situation here of all the ways we kind of flopped it. However, it's a delicate balance, right? It can't be too distracting, but also it needs to look like it's been through something. So let's see. I'm taking a picture of Aries. I don't want this one in there because it gets distracting, and this is like too much brown going on, so maybe like this in the background. I gotta frame it up, so let's figure this out. I know you guys are only seeing majority the astrology zines, which look at them, they look great, but I actually did another set of zines for this Zenfest, and that is my coloring book zine. I have a video somewhere, once again I'll link it again, but I have another video where I was working on this pulp novel cover, and I decided to extend that and make that into a coloring book zine. So I do also have some coloring book zines that I took with me, featuring kind of like a pulp novel situation, and it's like half the full print and half the coloring book pages. It's actually really cool, but honestly, I could put them in the video, but this would be so long, and I just didn't think it was that important. Like, we had to make some cuts, okay? And those were the sacrifices made. Right, we're all packed up, and yes, I will be bringing my carry-on bag as like my wagon, essentially, of all my items. So here we have all the stuff for the table over here, my tablecloth, etc., and like all the display stuff. There's a couple of display stuff down here too. We got a small banner, we got our links. I also have like my price list, but it's another bag. And then we have our zines. Everything's in a Ziploc bag. Some stuff will be put in this bag, but you know, look at that. My pièce de résistance. Actually, I just realized I never did like a proper let's flip through the zines of everything, so I'm gonna do that right now. Also, if you're hearing anything in the background, I do have Disney Channel on because they don't have cast, so I can't cast something to the TV, but they do have cable, and Zombie Tour was on, so life. Yes. So here we go. We got prints. I think I already discussed that technically I printed it wrong, but I actually don't care that much, and it works out. So all of these are perforated edges, so you can rip them out, you know, keep your little print for yourself, put it on your wall. And then we get to this page with the just coloring versions, which you can also pull these out once you color them. And we did our color tests, no bleed for the most part, and like minimal water if you wanted to watercolor it. Same vibes. Oop. But this is just the inks, and I actually thought about how to print this so that it would print a lot better. Yeah. Ooh. Ta-da! Scenes. And if real ones have seen this bad boy before, this is the first zine I ever made, and it's my Delia's catalog. Or rather, my Moa's catalog, because that's what these are. Actually, I should take a picture with everything so that I can make a YouTube. What's that thing called? Why am I spacing on this? The cover photo for the YouTube video. I should take a picture of all of these. That's what I meant to say. Okay, we're using Leo as her sample today. I'm tripping over my words. Look at that. So, just in case you didn't realize how this is going down, basically, you have a front cover with the symbol and the dates. Then this is kind of like a quick overview of what defines a Leo. Then all your good luck symbols, and then the tarot card associated with Leo, your constellation and what planets or celestial bodies, heavenly bodies, rule that sign, and then positive and negative traits. And then on the back is just like, the zine is by me, and like where my links are. Yee! Forgot to record anything today. I'm set up. It's going well. The zines are not selling like hotcakes, but they're selling, which is what we want. So that's fine. I should get my whole table so you can see it. It's a very like simple setup, but you know, it's cute. This is kind of where I leave you. There's my little table. Ignore the yellow suitcase that I used to transport everything peeking through the bottom there. Don't worry, I move it. Yeah, it was overall a really fun time. I'm really glad I went all the way to DC to come do this. I'm excited to maybe possibly do more shows like this in the future. It was a little bit of a learning curve trying to figure out how many things to bring, what would be a worthwhile zine to make, but I think we kind of struggled a little bit with the astrology zines. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. You guys made me nervous. What can I say? Yeah, I think overall it went really well, and I'm really happy with the end result. And you know what? One of the biggest or the most frequent things that people kept saying to me was that they loved the paper. So kudos to me for picking up rice paper and deciding this was it, this was that girl. And trust me, I had some struggles with it. Basically, it wasn't in stock anywhere after I did the first couple of editions, but we made it through, and all the better for it, if you ask me. Anyway, new videos on my channel every other Saturday. You can find me anywhere on the internet. All my links will be down below. And yeah, thank you for spending time with me today. Hope you have a lovely one. And also, if you want one of these zines, they're gonna be in my Etsy, which will be linked down below. Until then, please subscribe, check back in. I'll be making more cool stuff, hopefully. And I'll see y'all on the internet sometime. Bye.